shoe. Dad's so naughty. So naughty. You guys watch this though. How cute.
Good boy.
You know how high he jumps? You're such a good boy. But you guys, he got my shoe, which he knows is a big no-no. So usually they're over there. I found one shoe here. So it looks like he had a little fun while we were gone. Oh yeah, you know you're in trouble. When he starts licking like that. I can't get mad at his face.
All right, guys, we just got back to the house, and seriously, what an awesome day house hunting. We had so much fun. We looked at 2 different homes today. We could not be more pleased with both of them. It's gonna be so hard to choose just one.
What one of them has, the other one lacks, and vice versa.
That's totally true.
They both have a ton of positives, and then they both have negatives. You guys, we're a little conflicted here.
Which one did you guys like? You know, maybe comment down below.
Comment down below which one you guys liked. I mean, let's sit down and chat. Maybe let's share what we're thinking. In our new fall living room. You guys, it smells so good in here. It smells like pumpkin spice. We got this. Actually, what kind of candle is this? This is Heritage Pumpkin, you guys. I got this from Target.
The candle really does smell absolutely amazing.
As you can tell, we've been burning it every night. It's already down to here.
All right, guys, today could not have gone better.
It was a good day of house hunting. So you guys, we split this vlog. If you guys are just getting to the game, make sure you go back and watch our vlog from yesterday, which was part 1 to this round of house shopping. We saw an awesome house today on that vlog, but we're breaking it up into 2 different ones just because there was so much good footage and we didn't want it to be too long and boring for you guys. Pretty much we had the first house we saw, which was, what should we call that house?
It was the house off of the main road.
It was absolutely beautiful, you guys. I fell in love with that house when I first walked into it.
That house, you guys, had an upgrade of just about everything.
Not only that, but it just felt nice inside. It just
felt super
like
nice. It felt like home. I was just about to say that.
It really did, and that was really probably the first home that I felt that in.
Yeah, that was the first home that I like walked in and felt like, okay, we could actually live here.
Yeah, I could see us living here. We walked into that cute nursery. Like, I just envisioned
Brittany's heart melt at that point.
It did, guys. Just everything, the open concept, it wasn't huge, but it felt big because of the layout.
And because of the vaulted ceilings.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, with the market being so high, it's crazy, but your money, it feels like a lot of the time it doesn't go a long ways. But with that house, I feel like for the price, it was actually, you were getting what you paid for.
Yeah, it felt like a good bang for buck at that place.
I didn't feel like we'd be getting ripped off, which a lot of the houses I've seen, I've felt that way. I love the layout of the kitchen. Yes, the dark cabinets is not my first choice, but they're beautiful. It's a beautiful kitchen. It had double ovens, which that's probably one of the first houses we've ever seen with double ovens. Not a lot in our price range have that, but this one did.
I really did love how big that island was. I love how there's a built-in burner, or I don't know what it's called, stove thing. Range. Yeah, I love that. I thought it was so cool. I love how there was a kitchen facing towards the mountains. You had a pretty view of the mountains.
Right above the sink where you'll be doing all the dishes, so that's perfect for you.
I also love the master bedroom. I thought it was huge.
The master bedroom was awesome. The bathroom, you had the double sink vanities. The toilet was separate and a walk-in closet, which was a pretty good size.
I also loved the shower with the white tile. I thought that was way cool.
So beautifully. And I loved how it had a window in the bathroom. Like, you don't see that a lot of the time, and there's no neighbors close. It's not like you can see in it all. And the windows in the master bedroom, to those 4, it just opened it up. Like, I loved that.
Usually in these houses that we're looking at, if there is a window in the bathroom, it's like facing the neighbors, and like their neighbors is facing you, and so you're never gonna open it up. But this particular house, that wasn't the case. Like, it opened up and you just see like the neighbor's backyard. It was just nice.
And then you guys, I mean, that yard, fully finished, fully landscaped, has a fence, had that awesome cement patio in the back corner where we could put a hot tub or do a fun fire pit. You could do a lot of fun things there. It had the RV pad on the side too for additional parking.
It had that big old shed for storage.
Neighbors not really close. How the yards are laid out, because you're in a cul-de-sac, neighbors weren't like on top of you at all. Like, it was awesome.
Okay, now for the negatives.
Dun dun dun.
Obviously, the main negative one is because it's the house next to the main busy road. That's the biggest negative.
I mean, there's literally a stoplight pretty close to the house, so what you hear are cars stopping for the stoplight for the most part. It's not a freeway, right? But cars are probably going maybe 40, 45, 50 on that if they're not stopping for the light. When I was inside, I really couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it either, but definitely when you're outside.
When you're outside, you can hear it.
You can hear it for sure.
You can hear cars. Now, there is is this large, I don't know what they call it, like a sound wall. It's really big, it's tall, right? So it's not like people can see into your yard or anything like that. It's really tall. It helps block the sound. So that does help. They did mention you can plant trees along there to kind of help with the sound as well. I've been to another house where there was a highway behind it and I was like, no way, because it was just like, and it was so loud constantly. This one, it wasn't too bad. It is a road, like that is a downside to it for sure.
And there's a lot of construction over there right now, so there's gonna be a ton of big trucks going back and forth down that busy road, which is kind of a bummer because you definitely can hear those the most, especially when they break. Okay, so second negative, which is also a big thing, is that the basement is not finished, not at all.
And you guys, that basement, it's about 2,000 square feet, just the basement. Yeah. So we could additionally, when we wanted to, we could expand 3 more bedrooms, a big family room. It has a giant cold storage down there. So we can make an awesome space. It's just that takes a lot of money to finish a basement.
Especially that big. Which
we don't have right now.
Yeah.
So it would take us a couple years to finish that, unless we wanted to look at it as kind of an investment standpoint and maybe do a basement apartment down there and have renters. That is a really booming area in Utah right now. So that could actually help us a little bit with our mortgage, which would be nice. But at that price point, you guys, like in our price range, we're not gonna find a house that new, that size, with a finished basement that we feel comfortable paying for right now. So we have to take that into consideration. We have to give and take in some things.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that we might have found our dream house to an extent, but the location is not the greatest. It's super nice when it comes to like access to the freeway.
Oh, it's awesome for me, you guys, for commuting, like, and that's a big thing. I can be on the freeway in like 3 minutes.
And also just like access to like restaurants and like fun things to do.
It's right by an elementary school, which is great.
Yeah, so as far as that location, it's perfect. For it being up against the road, not the best.
Yeah, so guys, that's something we're gonna have to really think about and consider, but we really liked it.
Okay, moving on to the second house now.
House number 2.
We're gonna call this the Hyland House because that's where it's at.
Up high in the Hyland House. You guys, how gorgeous was that house though with those views? That's what sells you, is just that neighborhood. You're up in the mountains, you see the views of the lake.
Okay guys, so that house was beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. The location in it was absolutely beautiful. The views it has was beautiful. Yeah. From inside the house, not only could you see Utah Lake, but you could see all of the mountains in Utah County. Just
driving into the neighborhood, you guys, you drive into the development, there was this awesome little park for kids. There's a clubhouse with a swimming pool, tennis courts, like lots of fun stuff that would be awesome to be able to use. The neighborhood was just serene and quiet.
I will say, definitely driving into this neighborhood, I liked a lot more than driving into the other neighborhood. But obviously that's Highland, it's a nicer part of town.
The biggest positive in my mind for this house is the neighborhood and the location.
So now we'll talk about the inside of the house. The inside of the house, you guys, was really, really pretty.
The inside of this one, you guys, I'll say it was pretty. It was definitely, I wouldn't say it was as show-stopping as the first house. The kitchen was nice. The bedroom was nice. Everything was nice in that.
The views were just so pretty.
Definitely.
I love the big windows in the back of the house and then over on the kitchen. It just kind of like opened up the entire house.
One other positive about this house is the basement is partially finished, so you wouldn't have to completely finish the entire thing, which saves you money.
And it's also a walkout.
It is a walkout, so you wouldn't have to dig out anything, which is really nice. It did have a little stream in the back, which was cute. It had some yard.
All right, so now let's talk about the negatives of the Highland House.
Negatives.
So negative for me is that the backyard of this one, it did not have a fence and it was a lot smaller than the other house.
I mean, when you say backyard, there really wasn't a backyard.
Yeah,
there was the creek and the trees, a small thin slab of grass, but then your main yard was on the side of the house, one side.
No one uses.
Which you wouldn't really use a ton, but there's parks and everything around, so we could put in a fence, but yeah, definitely not an ideal yard.
Other negative thing for me is that even though the basement was partially finished, I don't think I really liked what they did with that partial part of it, and the rest of it obviously is not finished.
Compared to the first house, you could do a lot more with the basement and finish it how we wanted to. The other negative for me is the master. They just had probably a double in there and it was already pretty tight, so putting in a king, it just wasn't as big as the first one. Still definitely livable, but compared to the first house, smaller master. The bathroom was nice, but just the finishes throughout the entire house, you could tell it was just kind of what came with the house. Nothing was really upgraded. Just two small fixes, I would say, compared to the first house. It didn't have a kitchen backsplash, and then also a lot of the rooms didn't have blinds.
Which was surprising.
Yeah. It was surprising, whereas the first house was finished completely with all these plantation shutters, which I really liked.
They are cool.
So anyways, just little things like that I think we need to think through with it.
Now you guys are probably thinking we want the other house, the one on the busy street, more than this one, but we're not sure.
It's a toss-up because that road, you know, it would interfere with a peaceful, quiet backyard. Whereas this one up in Highland was just peaceful, quiet, serene. You're literally in the tops of the mountains.
There's parks behind you as well as before you get to the house. There's a nearby pool and a gym. Like, it's just beautiful up there.
Lots to think about.
I'm actually curious, if any of you guys live next to a busy road, let us know if it's something that maybe you kind of regret now, or if it's something you just don't even notice and you become accustomed to it.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to hear that. Any other thoughts you have, drop them in the comments below. We have some thinking to do. Stay tuned, guys. We will keep you updated on where things are at.
Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you turn on those notification bells so you don't miss out on anything ever.
And tune in next time to see if maybe we found our first home.
All right, guys, we love you. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Finny, you want a new house?
Find your new house today, maybe?